Thank you, Tim. Thank you for that introduction and welcome everybody, and thank you for your time today. My name is Philip Daffus and I'm going to share with you some recent business results and new developments within Painchek, demonstrating our ability to continue to grow the business and provide a safe and effective clinical tool for carers and residents in aged care during these very difficult times. As Tim mentioned, my background is strong in medical device and diagnostics. I've worked for more than 30 years in this field. I had senior roles at Roche Diagnostics in the UK and Germany, their global headquarters in Mannheim, the diabetes monitoring business. And I joined Cochrane in the mid-90s, heading up their European business out of London for 4 years before coming to Australia to head up the global marketing. So I'm applying these experiences and capabilities to make Painchek a global success. The Painchek business model is software as a service, incorporating AI technology to assess pain levels. It's a medical device that comes in the form of an app. It's got peer-reviewed publications and is regulatory cleared, as mentioned, in Australia and Europe, and now going through FDA for the United States. It's protected, the technology is protected through patents already granted in the US, Japan, and Australia, and as of recently now formally accepted in China. To date, we've successfully entered this aged care market in Australia and also in the UK, Singapore and New Zealand as part of our global expansion, and now commencing in larger markets, including the home care market and in the future the hospital sector. The product's got more than 80% gross margins, reflecting the digital technology and low cost capability. So what's the problem we're addressing? And it's all around pain. And pain assessment is difficult. But it's profoundly difficult for two extreme groups. Firstly, those living with dementia and cognitive impairments who've lost their ability to reliably self-report their pain severity levels. Secondly, pre-verbal children who have not yet built those communication skills to verbally express their pain. With these people, pain is often underdetected or not detected, leading to misdiagnosis, incorrect treatments that can impact the quality of care provided. To quantify this, there's 400 million pre-verbal children in the world at any one time, and there's more than 50 million people living with dementia, growing to 75 million by 2025. So our sole mission is to give a voice to those people who cannot reliably verbalise their pain. We focus on people being cared for in aged care, or in home care, or in hospitals, where a carer or a nurse has to assess their patients' pain severity levels when they often cannot reliably communicate or explain themselves. This includes people living with dementia, with cognitive impairment, complex needs, and those in aged care, often who are living with chronic pain for years and believe that that's the normal state. Well, we can tell you that's not the normal state. It doesn't need to be a normal state anymore, and Painchek provides the tool for carers to assess those people's pain. Our first product to market is the adult product, which has been on the market now for about 2 years. It's focusing on people living with dementia. And today there are a number of pain assessment tools, or have been around for many years, that are being used in aged care and hospitals to assess pain for those who cannot verbalise. If you look in the middle here, there's the Abbey Pain Scale. It's a multi-dimensional pain assessment tool. But its difficulty is it's very well developed, very well researched, but it is manual and paper-based. It's not used at point of care. It can be subject to user bias and requires, at times, specialist nursing. What we have done as Painchek, on the right-hand side there, we have intelligently automated the multi-dimensional pain assessment process, and we've introduced artificial intelligence to automate the facial assessment, which is the most complex part, with assessment of 9 microfacial features of pain through the AI technology and camera assessment. It takes 3 seconds and gives the carer an immediate result. The results are a fully mobile medical device that brings pain assessment to the point of care, maintaining the proven clinical practice of pain assessment while significantly improving the clinical process. I'm also really pleased to say that Dr. Jennifer Abbey, who developed the Abbey Pain Scale, is on our advisory board, and she's working very closely with us to help transition from the older tech to the new Painchek technology. Also pleased to confirm the $5 million government grant that was provided to us last year to fund 100,000 Painchek licenses within aged care has now been extended by the Department of Health to run through to June 2021. That's a 7-month extension. This is just to ensure we can roll out Painchek. Those 100,000 people live with dementia in aged care during these difficult times, improving the care and safety for both the residents and their carers. To date, we've received around 3 million of that grant as we've rolled out close to 50,000 of those beds. And we are targeting 100,000 dementia beds by June 2021 and to receive the full 5 million grants. Most recently with COVID-19, we've actually recognised additional benefits of Painchek. What's clear now is that both residents and carers are vulnerable during COVID-19. What we have done at Painchek, we have pivoted to using remote technology to deliver our sales process, our implementation and training programs, all remotely while aged care facilities are in lockdown. We've been using e-learning platforms and online workshops, providing education, allowing carers to continue with their work and getting access to Painchek. Another benefit about Painchek is that pain assessments can be conducted rapidly within 2 to 3 minutes and from a socially caring distance, more than up to 3 meters away. This makes it safe and eliminates paperwork and reducing the risk both to carers and their residents. The other value of this is that we can use this capability now as we internationally expand our business and to provide it on a global scale in a highly cost-effective manner. This is the results from our June quarter. This shows we continue to sell and implement during the quarter while resident aged care facilities were effectively in lockdown and we could not get access to them in terms of face-to-face meetings. So we now have as a company more than 200 aged care clients, over 700 aged care facilities and more than 61,000 aged care beds, which is around 20% of the, more than 20% actually, of the market here in Australia. We are rapidly becoming the most commonly used tool, clinical tool in aged care in Australia. If this provides a bit more granularity in data, as you can see, we were growing prior to the government grants, and we've continued to grow since. So we've actually got an ARR of around $2.6 million, and if we continue on this basis and implement the 400,000 dementia beds, we'll be close to a $7 million run rate ARR by June next year. The other thing we do is we track every single pain assessment conducted on our portal, which could be accessed by the aged care facilities to manage their care better, and for us for future product developments. 135,000 cumulative assessments as of June. There's now more than 160,000 assessments conducted to date, which shows great clinical utility and very good use of the app. This is a list of 20 of our 200 clients, and the key message here is that we've got large, mid-sized and small aged care facilities using the app, and we've also got private and public and not-for-profits. So it's a good mix of clients, and it's all around Australia and the UK, Singapore and New Zealand. Our market opportunity is pretty significant. For the adult app, we really see the dementia market split between the aged care facilities, which is around a $300 million market opportunity. We're well penetrated in Australia. We are in the UK, and we've got FDA clearance, or we're working on FDA clearance now for the US market. The larger market opportunity, we believe, is in the home care. That's probably 10 times the size, where people will want to stay longer, and where most people with dementia currently reside and will reside for the future. So governments are supporting the home care initiative, and Painchek fits in really nicely into that model. So big markets both in aged care and also home care. The other product we're working on is the kids version. The kids app is in clinical trials right now. It's designed for 2 market sectors. It's for hospitals, for newly born children, to assess pain while in the hospital. But the big market opportunity, we believe, is in the home care for mums and dads to actually assess whether their children are crying because of pain or just for hunger. There are something like 140 million births each year and 60 million first-time parents each year in the world. So very significant market sizes. This is a summary of our product launches. I've covered most of these from the talk, and this information is available on a larger presentation on the ASX today. So catalysts, strong catalysts for the future, for the next period, covering both aged care, home care and hospital sectors. Finishing off, strong team, very well experienced in technology, research and strong commercialization, and a very experienced board. So I will, market cap, as I said before, we're around $120 million market cap. We've got $15 million in the bank, and there is no debt. A good mix of retail, family office and institutional investors. On that note, I'll hand back over to Tim.
Thanks, Philip. You might have to unshare your screen too, I think. A couple of questions too. These questions came in straight away. One's in regards to the residential aged care grant that expires in 2021. And the question is, the guardian of the dementia patients may continue and withdraw the subscription, depending on the effectiveness of your product, I assume. So what's the growth plan beyond the $7 million of annualised recurring revenue next year?
All our contracts are 2 to 3 year contracts. The first year of the contract is the government funded. The second and third years are at our normal rates. So the 7 million we talk about ARR in the future, that's our calculating our future revenues post the government grant. So all contracts are 2 to 3 years. And you know, the thing about this is that for an aged care facility to set this all up and run with it, it's a significant amount of work. This is not done for the short term, it's done for the long term. So contracts are long term, and first year is government funded, second and third years are at our standard Painchek rates.
Right, okay, I've got questions coming in thick and fast. You've been in the UK for a while as well. When do you expect to see some revenue there?
Yeah, the UK, we started end of last year, and of course COVID-19 really hit everything bad in the UK. We've actually got sales started already this last month. That's good. We've got some sales early on before COVID. We've got some new sales happening this month already. And we've also got a partnership with a company called Person-Centered Software. They've just hired a full-time, they've got 50,000 beds in aged care they supply to, and they just hired a full-time Painchek salesperson to target those markets, to target their market and their beds. So we're now seeing the UK market opening up, and we see good sales potential for the next 2 quarters.
And do you see the opportunity for government grants in some of these other countries? Oh,
potentially, yes. There is NHS has an NHSX fund which looks at new technologies, digital technologies. We've and our team, they're really experienced, very well experienced. They've got very good contacts in NHS, and there are a number of grants we could look at. But we see this as a product that's going to be sold into aged care, as we did initially in Australia before the government grant came along.
And is there a process for FDA approval for this product?
Correct. We're going through the de novo process. So that's a newish process, which means low risk products. But we're just, the file is with the FDA. We're waiting for them to come back to us to confirm our pre-sub submission, or pre-supplement submission, should I say. And then we've got our clinical trial partners all lined up to do our work in the US. And to get to, we're targeting FDA by end of 2021.
And one last question here. So how deep does the product get integrated into the facilities, processes and procedures?
Thank you. One slide I didn't put into so many slides I wanted to show. Yes, we've got integration agreements now with 9, the 9 major players in aged care in Australia and with one of the largest ones in the UK. So what that means is when we do a Painchek assessment on our point of care device, or on a phone or on an iPad, it gets automatically downloaded into the care management system, and from there the carers can actually track their data for regulatory reasons, for clinical reasons, and then drive their care planning. So we've integrated with close to 100,000 clients. We've covered more than 180,000 beds.
Great, thank you, Philip. thanks for your time. A great presentation, a great innovation as well. Good luck.
Thank you very much for your time, everybody.